All right, thank you, Heather. It's 7:43 now. This morning's Washington Report. We're talking about the nation's debt and the GOP presidential candidates. Joining us now, Tennessee Representative Marsha Blackburn of District 7. Good morning, Congresswoman.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And
yes.
Dry. I'm surprised.
Yes.
Battling all that rain out there. Let's get right to it. We're going to talk about the nation's debt. The debate over raising that debt ceiling, we were really pushing it there, less than 24 hours away from default. Do you think we got a good deal?
I think that what we did was to take a step in the right direction, but only one step. You know, President Reagan used to say, I'm going to take a half loaf this week, come back, get the rest of the loaf the next week. And what we did was no tax increases. We made some spending reductions. We're able to put some caps in place to kind of corral the spending and get the blank check out of the president's hand, which was an important thing to do. And then have a required vote on a balanced budget amendment. The Senate has to take it up. They can't filibuster, they can't table, they can't call for cloture. They have to go to the well and vote on it within 20 hours of our sending them that bill.
Okay. So, but this is not a done deal by any means here, though. I mean, this is
there are many more cuts to come. And as a matter of fact, I'm working on legislation right now that adds additional cuts. My entire career in Congress, I have put forward bills that would reduce what the federal government spends, actually cut into the baseline of the baseline budgeting process. And we are continuing that, and we're aggressively working. We have our constituents going to our website, our Facebook page, our Twitter, and sending in recommendations for what they think we should be cutting in Washington. So we're making good use of this opportunity to actually reduce, actually cut into what the federal government spends, not just reduce the increase.
I'm interested to know, it's kind of a personal question here, on a personal note, the toll that that clock, that winding down to default, what kind of impact that had on you? Constituents calling your office, that sort of thing. Were you overwhelmed?
We were hearing from constituents on all sides of the issue. Of course, we were hearing from our local and state elected officials, because had there been a default or a downgrade from all the ratings agencies, then bond yields would have gone down for all of those entities. Interest cost would have gone up, and it would have been quite a widespread impact. So we were hearing from all of them.
Okay, the Fed chair calling for possibly another economic stimulus package. Would you be in favor?
Will not happen.
No, not at all.
Will not happen. Does not need to happen. The way you create jobs is through the private sector, less regulation, less taxation, less compliance costs, getting the federal government off people's back.
All right, let's move on to the race for president, which is actually quite entertaining, at least for Memphians. You just heard us kind of joking around about potential candidate Michelle Bachmann and her misstep there, calling Elvis's anniversary of his death, his birthday, that sort of thing. She won the Iowa poll, pretty strong candidate.
Yes, she did. And of course, you know, when you're focused on issues like the nation's debt and the overspending in Washington, sometimes entertainment trivia that is important to those of us that have Mississippi and Tennessee roots may not be high on the list of someone else.
So don't pass judgment just yet, right?
At least she appreciates Elvis's music.
That's a good point. She did say one of his songs there. She won the Iowa straw poll, which some, you know, say is pretty significant. Is she, in your eyes, one of the top 3 contenders there?
She is definitely in the mix for whomever will be the nominee. You're going to see, I think, maybe even a couple more people get into that race.
Okay. Any favorites so far?
No.
No, not just yet.
No, we've got a great deep bench. I think that's the good thing about my party, is that we have a deep bench of people who are qualified, who would do a better job addressing the jobs issues, the economic issues, the debt, and the Washington overspending than the current president.
And Texas Governor Rick Perry, of course, entering this Saturday into the race right after the straw poll in Iowa. Another good contender, I guess, for the Republican candidates.
He is. He certainly is, and he has some Tennessee connections also.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait to hear from him. That is for sure. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Happy to be with you.
Thank you so much. And, of course, take back to Washington a little bit of Elvis history, right? You got to.
Always.
All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Taking care of business.
I like
that would be the best one.
That's for sure. All right.